these are the directions on how to start your New York paper and write the first parts of the assignment. This is going to be due on Monday, October 16th, so you'll have a class period to work on it, and then you can finish up for homework. So as you can see on the agenda, you're going to need your checklist, you're going to have your outlines open, and I'm going to show you how to go to Google Classroom to open up the template for the paper. So when you go to Google Classroom now, I'm just going to go to the purple class. The paper template is at the top of your feed. This is what the paper template looks like. So what I've done is at the top you can see you have your title. You're going to put your name and class color here. The honor code you're going to sign when you're finished. And the sections in blue are the paragraphs and pages of your research paper. So you'll use your outlines to write the paper. And today you'll be working on sections 1 and 2. So it's the introduction, where you're going to write a 3 to 5 sentence kind of overview of your paper and what it covers. And you're going to write section 2, which is the first big event in your outlines, the Grenville orogeny, formation of Rodinia, and then the rifting of Rodinia to form the Iapetus Ocean. So for this part, you're going to look at your daily guide. So each time you have an assignment, a section to write in your paper, I want you to go to your daily guide. You can see the due dates here. So the paper is going to be submitted on Google Classroom 2/20, Tuesday, 10/24. So that's the deadline for submitting your paper, so you don't lose late points. And what I've done here is I've broken up the paper into 5 different kind of work days. So as you can see at number 3 here, you're going to be writing the first part of your New York paper. That's sections 1 and 2 on the template. So if I go back to my paper, you can see I've labeled each section, section 1 and section 2. So that's going to be the work that's due on Monday. And if you click on the link here, what we've created is a little overview of what should go in those sections, including kind of a list of items. There's a little blurb about the introduction paragraph here, kind of what should be included there. Ms. Nichols wrote a sample introduction in blue here for you guys to look at and use as a model. And then your next paragraph will be everything to do with the Grenvilles. So I put in red there kind of everything to do with the Grenville formation, Rodinia, the rifting of Rodinia, so you can use these letters as a guide. There's going to be no photographs from the trip in this section because we didn't see any evidence from the trip. But these are some images and diagrams that will be helpful to put into that section. So typically what we'll do is we'll tell you in each guide kind of, what pictures you need or whether you need pictures or not. So in the Grenville section, there should be no photographs, but you should have probably one diagram, at most 2 diagrams on there that show that. So I'll show you in the paper how to put those in. So that's kind of the work for day 1. You're going to be writing these first 2 sections of your paper, and that'll stretch you about 1 page. So if you look at the format here, your paper is going to be, let me just go down to the steps here. So your paper should be anywhere from 5 to 7 pages long in terms of length. You're going to have it single-spaced at 12-point font Arial, and you can go down to 11. So 11 or 12-point font is fine. Leave the text formatting the same on there. So when you are browsing through the daily guide, there's a sample page of what an accelerated paper would look like. So this is a sample page. All this information is out of order. It's incorrect, so don't use it as a guide. But typical pages in an accelerated paper would look like the one I'm showing you right here. So there's a mixture of diagrams, artist recreations of the warm tropical sea, maybe some photographs from the trip, and those photos are wrapped around kind of the relevant paragraphs. So I'm going to show you how to do that on here. So the way to insert photos into your paper, we have a set of links for you guys. So down at the bottom of each guide, there's a link to either a set of Flickr photos, if you want to look at a more a wider selection of photos, or Ms. Nichols created a Google Doc of summary photos. So let's say I wanted to put a picture of the pillow basalts from the trip into my paper. I'm going to click on the picture, and I'll show you how to format it so you can get it with the captions and it's not all messy. I'm going to insert this into my sample one. So let's say I want to put the picture, right here. So you go Insert, go down to Drawing. So don't insert the picture right into the paper. And then when I'm here, I can paste my picture into the drawing. And I'm going to make a text box for my caption. So I'm going to make the caption underneath. And you'll write a 1-sentence maximum caption for the picture or diagram explaining what it is. So these are the pillow basalts formed by the rifting event. And typically with a caption, you want to make the font a little smaller. So right now it's at 14. I'm going to bring it down to maybe 9. 9 or 10 would be a good font choice. I'm going to format it a little bit to get it underneath my picture. You can make it italics if you would like. And then once I have this, I'm going to save it and close it. And now the picture's into my paper with the caption. So what I'll do here is I'll click on the picture, I'll go Wrap Text, and I can resize it. You don't want your pictures too big. They should be no more. Look at the sample accelerated paper page to get an idea of size. And now this allows me to move my photo, and it moves the caption with it. So when you put in your photos and diagrams, they should always be edged to the left or edged to the right. And obviously in the section that you're talking about that. So we don't want to see any photos that are in the middle of a paragraph that start breaking up your sentences. So if I was talking about the pillow lavas here, my pillow lava photo would be on either side of the relevant sentences. Okay, so that's the best way and the easiest way for you guys to insert photos and captions. So back to the paper, you're going to use your outline. You've made your outline. You've worked on all the research. Use your outline to particularly write this section here. This intro paragraph, if you're struggling to write it, you may want to write your section 2 first and go back to section 1. But you want to shoot for kind of 1-page, 12-point or 11-point font, single-spaced on here for your paper. You're welcome to take the title and the student signature and kind of think of that as its own page and separate it. It's up to you. So if you want to start your paper down here to give you more space, the actual problem here is to confine your paper to 5 to 7 pages rather than getting it to that length. So if you want to actually start your paper like this, where you have kind of a title page and then your section 1, it can be written here, so that'll give you a full kind of page to write your sections 1 and sections 2. So you're welcome to do that. Hope this helps.